That's it. Just a pen. When the Maharishi decided to take TM to the world, one of his close advisors said, this is going to cost a lot of money. Where are you going to get the money for this? Where's it going to come from? He said, wherever it is right now. And you know, if you can burn that idea in your mind, whenever you need something, it's already here. You just have to get in harmony with it. And when you get in harmony with it, everything starts happening. When you go to leave something, the only thing you can measure is what you're giving up. You can't measure what you're going to get. I thought that was a pretty interesting concept. When you walk away from something, all you can measure is what you're giving up. You cannot measure what you're going to get. It's learning simple little things that make a great big difference. You want to take whatever's big and make it small. Start reducing it to the ridiculous. You got to get rid of this fear jazz, because fear is just the improper use of your imagination. That's really all it is. And if the idea scares you, you know real well you're on the right track. See, if the idea you're working with is comfortable, you're going sideways. There's no growth involved. It's the stepping into the unknown that causes the fear. We don't want to do that. And then, because we don't want to do it, we've got to justify why we're not doing it. Well, the paradigm just starts pumping ideas into your head of why you shouldn't do it. You start thinking, what would she think? What would he think? What would they say? What if this happened? What if that happened? Well, what if it did? You've got to be prepared to make some shifts. And understand this. If your results are stuck, you're stuck. You're mentally stuck. And you've got to change that. You've got to start doing things a little different. I have learned this from a good doctor, what I'm sharing with you. There's no trick to it. I am not some mental giant or genius. I'm an ordinary guy just like you. Well, you've got a perfect memory. There's nothing wrong with your memory. It's probably weak. Exercise it, it becomes strong. Exercise your imagination, it'll become strong. You have no idea what you can earn. And don't get hung up on money. I don't really care that much about money. Now, most people think I do because I talk about it a lot. Get to the point where you're looking at money as just a product, and you can create the product. It's the manifestation of thinking. And you've got to be prepared to invest in yourself. I'm always investing in myself. I honestly believe I'm the best investment in the world for me. There's no end to what I'm capable of earning. And if there's no end to what I'm capable of earning, there's no end to what you're capable of earning. None of us are aware of what we're capable of doing. And we let our present conditions control our thinking. Yet it's a dumb thing to do. Why do we do it? Well, because we've been conditioned to do it. Our parents did it. Why did they do it? Because their parents did it. Why did they do it? Because their parents did it. And then the school system. What's the school system? It's just a bunch of parents. That's really what it is. Somebody else's parents teaching your kids. And so they're getting the same thing at school pretty well as they get at home. Does this mean they're bad people? It doesn't mean they're bad people at all. They just don't know, and they don't know they don't know. The whole system is designed to hold you down. Why is it that 3% of the population make it very big? 97% nice people, smart people are stuck. See, it really doesn't make any sense. I committed to study this material every day and follow proven direction. My income began to change. And what did it take? It took discipline. And I was taught very early when I first got this, that discipline is simply the ability to give yourself a command and follow it. And if you cannot give yourself a command and follow it, you are stuck. Make no mistake about it. Anything I say won't really mean very much. There is absolutely no way I can change you. Matt changes Matt. Kyan changes Kyan. Sandy changed Sandy. Bob changes Bob. No one can change you. But you can change it, and no one even can guess at what you're capable of doing. A habit is an idea that's fixed in your subconscious mind that you automatically express without giving any conscious thought. I had formed the habit of doing exactly what people that were getting the results I wanted to get until I found out they were lying or they didn't know what they were talking about. He said, you do exactly what I tell you until you find out I'm lying or that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I just made up my mind. I'm not going to judge what he says. I'm just going to do exactly what he said. Some of the things I was doing was so far out relative to what we were doing, we being all the people I mixed with, relative, friends. I get a sticker in the back, came from Vanderwall, says the world would stop if it were run by the people who said it can't be done. It's not an easy thing to do. You're going to find out, I'm not going to lie to you. You will probably from time to time think I'm arrogant, but I'm really not. I'm just very definite in my belief system. And I believe it because I've tested it and the results are there. Where's the energy come? It doesn't come from anywhere. It's already here. You don't get energy, you release energy. Desire is the triggering mechanism to release energy. When you've got a strong desire for a particular end, you will have the energy to do whatever it is to do. This idea of taking it easy is for other people. What is? Why do you want to take it easy? He'll ask Carnegie what he did with his spare time. He said, I don't have any spare time. Why would you want spare time? What are you going to do with spare time? Nothing? You're only here for a short time. Don't you want to grow all your days here? Don't you want today to be better than yesterday? It isn't going to be better than yesterday by accident. Yet it isn't going to be better than yesterday because you're taking it easy. Yet it isn't going to be better than yesterday unless you make it better than yesterday. If you're going to make it better than yesterday, you're going to have to know something today you didn't know yesterday. You're going to have to act on an idea that you haven't been acting on. This is very simple stuff. There's nothing complicated. You're never going to get a brain hernia from this. Our objective here is to turn your annual income into a monthly income. It's to turn your annual income. Now, you see, some of you are having difficulty even letting your mind go there. Your responsibility right now is not to think if you can do it. Your only responsibility is, do I want to do it? Do I want to? Does that make sense? Do I want to? That's all you have to ask. Do I want to? Do I want to feel better? Do I want to make it happen? That's it. Just want. See, I believe wants come from the essence of who you are. I believe you're God's highest form of creation. There is nothing on the planet that will equal you.
All right, guys, let's get today's call started. I'm going live right here on IG, and we are ready to go. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Happy Thursday. So excited to be here, guys. Hope everybody is having a beautiful start to their days. Real quick, if you've done your morning routine thus far, put a 4 in the chat if you've done your morning routine thus far, guys. Type it in the chat box. Let me just put a topic here. Here we go. Great. Boom. All right, guys. Well, welcome. Feeling good. Finished up my whole morning routine this morning. Obviously, it feels amazing whenever you get a chance to wake up and pour into yourself, which is what life is all about, right? Whenever you make it a priority to wake up and pour into you, there's nothing better, right? Right now, I have a full cup and I'm ready to pour into other people. And that's what life is all about, guys. So welcome to Mornings with Nano YouTube edition. I'm your host. My name is Nano Torres. I've been doing these calls now for more than 6 years. This is my passion. This is my purpose. This is what I love to do. And my whole life has changed because of this. I give all the glory to God because of the position that he has put me in. But I'm excited to, just go into today's call. It's my second day back since I've been on tour. I was on the road for about almost close to 4 weeks. And, I was on tour building the business, traveling, developing leaders, just doing some amazing things alongside 2 of my business partners who are legends in the industry as well. But I'm excited to be back home because I love getting back into my routine, waking up early, doing my Bible study, prayer, gratitude, visualizations, the reading of the books, the journaling, the gym sessions, the sauna sessions, like everything that I spend. I want you guys to know I take a lot of pride in working on myself, especially in the first 3 hours of my day. I'm very, very intentional to what I listen to. I'm very intentional to what I read. I'm very intentional with what I visualize, with what I'm thinking about in the morning, because once my day start, it's on go. It's go, 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 go. But I make sure that every morning I spend that time with myself. And I think it's important that we all do that as well, because if we're not spending time with ourselves, if we're not making ourselves a priority, then nothing else will make us a priority. And that's what life is all about. So great morning, Grant Rising, bless rising to everybody that's on this call. As you guys can see, today is July 31st. So it is the last day of July. And for some of my existing students, what would today be a good day to do, right? For those that know, what would be a good thing for us to do today? If you were me, and if you are somebody that wants to elevate, what would be a great thing for you to do today on a July 31st? Just want to see, right? Who knows this? There we go. Absolutely. Monthly review, reflection, evaluation, monthly assessment, however you want to call it. It is a perfect day for all of us to do an evaluation on ourselves. All right. And obviously, I mention this every single end of the month, and I'm going to mention it again because I know we have some new students on this call. It's very important for you to take a pen, take a paper just like this. All right. Open it up, blank sheet of paper. And what I want you to do is I want you to take some time and audit yourself in evaluation. And it's a very simple 3-question evaluation. Sit down with yourself. I've done it myself, where I just sit down and I ask myself 3 important questions. Nano, what did you do well for the month of July? What did you do well in July? What didn't you do well in July? And what improvements are you going to make in August? All right. This is so important. I know a lot of people sometimes listen to me, jump on these calls and mention it and still don't do it. Let this be the first month that if you haven't been doing it, that you do it. Guys, I want you to know you want to get in the habit of doing this every single month. Every single month, you want to be doing this. You want to be keeping track of yourself. All right. You want to be keeping track of your habits. You want to be keeping track of the things you're not doing well, so that way you can have more clarity on the things that you're going to go into the next month doing. All right. So the 3 questions are, I'm going to repeat them again. Number 1 is, what did you do well in the month of July? Make sure you give yourself credit for the things that you do well, because a lot of us, we're programmed to just think of the things that we're not doing well, the negatives in our lives, right? What we're not doing. But let's first give ourselves credit for the things that we are doing well, right? Give yourself a pat on the back. Write it down. Okay, what did I do well this month? I went to the gym 5 days a week. I read more. I did more Bible study. I developed a new skill. Whatever it was, I posted consistently on social media. I ate healthier. Give yourself credit for the things you did well. Now, the second question is, what didn't I do well in the month of July? Now, here's where you're honest. This is where you're honest. You have to be real. Remember, this is an evaluation with you and yourself. No one's going to read this. Nobody's going to see this unless you want somebody else to see it themselves. And here's where you're honest. You know where you slipped up. You know where you were supposed to be doing and you didn't do it. You know you were supposed to be in the gym. You didn't go to the gym. You know you didn't read as much as you were supposed to. You know you weren't consistent with your morning routine. You know the things that you should have done that you didn't do well. Be honest with it. Put it on paper. It's important that your mind sees the things that you're not doing well, so it knows what to fix. If you can't see it, you can't fix it. Out of sight, it is out of mind. All right, I'm going to repeat that again. If you can't see it, you can't fix it. Out of sight, out of mind. There's a pretty good chance if you don't evaluate yourself and if you don't see it, a lot of the things that you didn't do well in July, you're going to repeat them again in August. Pretty high chance. So it's important that you see it on paper, all the things that you're not doing well. And then the last and final question number 3 is, what improvements am I going to make in the month of August? What improvements am I going to make in the month of August? And majority of basically the answers to question 3 is the positive reflection of question 2, right? Of the answers you put for question 2. So, for example, if one of the things you didn't do well in July was you didn't read enough, then guess what? In August, you're going to read more, right? If you didn't go to the gym in July, you're going to go to the gym in August. If you didn't take the time to study a new skill, you're going to study that new skill now in August. Whatever you didn't do well in July, you're going to improve in August. That is the key. That is the key to this whole entire setup. All right, guys. So if you're going to do a reflection today, if I can count on you to do your evaluation, put a 333 in the chat. I highly recommend you guys to do it as well. The music in the back. Is there music in the back here? Because I don't hear no music in the back here. There's no music here for us. I'm sorry. I don't know. Let me know on Instagram. Are we solid, or is there really music here? Because I don't hear no music. I have no music on. Okay, awesome. So let's go into today's training. All right, we are good. All right, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, because somebody on Instagram. Oh, it was for you. All right. So let's talk about today's training. At the top of your paper, I want you to write down the 4 levels of learning in August. The 4 levels of learning in August. Now, I wanted to teach on this specific topic because, as you guys know, I've always studied Kevin Trudeau. And as I was listening to his audio this morning, he was talking about the 4 levels of learning. And I want to help you guys understand how to apply this properly in the next month, because this is what's going to help change all of you guys into better individuals and help you accomplish what it is that you guys want. Now, the most powerful leaders aren't the ones who know everything. Understand this. They're the ones who know who they are when they're weak and what needs to change. Growth begins with awareness. So I'm going to repeat this again. The most powerful leaders aren't the ones who know everything. It's the ones who know who they are when they're weak and what needs to change. So the most powerful leader isn't the one on this call that knows everything. The most powerful leader is the one who knows who they are, but knows that they're weak in certain areas and knows that they need to change in specific areas in their lives. Because growth begins with awareness. That's where growth begins. So the reason why I'm having you guys do this evaluation is because guess what? Guess what that evaluation is going to do for all of you? It's going to give all of you awareness. Awareness on what you're doing well, awareness on what you're not doing well, and it's also going to give you awareness on the improvements that you got to make in the month of August. All right, this is important because here's the thing about August, and a lot of people don't know this, but let me make you guys aware. August is the month where the seeds that you planted earlier in the year can either die or they can bloom. It all depends on how intentional you are in this month. This is important, what I'm going to share with you guys on this call. August can be the month where the seeds that you've planted all year could either die or they can bloom. What are we going to choose, guys? Type it in the chat box. Are you going to choose for your seeds to die, or are you going to choose for your seeds to bloom? What's going to be our choice? Die or bloom, right? Everybody's answer should be bloom, because nobody wants all the work that they've done this year to go to waste. So we need to understand that growth begins with awareness. It's becoming aware. Okay, I need to fix this. I need to change this. I can no longer do this. I can no longer be distracted with this. I need to be intentional with each area of my life. All right. So the 4 levels of learning, all right, this is based so that you can understand where you are on the scale so that you can completely shift your performance, your income, and everything else for this year. Now, let me talk about level 1 of the 4 levels of learning. Let me see who actually knows this information. Who knows what level 1 of the 4 levels of learning are? Just level 1. Does anybody know? Let me see where my students are on this call. Does anybody know what the 4 levels of learning are? And which one is level 1? Anybody tell me what level 1 is? There we go. Ricardo knows. No, that's the first basic. You're confusing it. The 4 levels of learning is a different topic. The 4 levels of learning, number 1 is unconscious incompetence. I want you guys to write this down. This is a very important training, so please pay attention here. Unconscious incompetence. What does that mean? You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. This is the most dangerous level of all because you operate with a lot of blind spots. Most people live here. They think they're doing enough, but wonder why nothing is changing. This is important. A lot of people live here. You don't know what you don't know. Because the word unconscious means you don't know. Incompetence means you don't do. So the word unconscious incompetence in simple terms basically means you don't know, so you don't do. So you can't do what you don't know, if that makes sense. So what I want to make sure that we do here in the month of August is that we must shine light on the areas that you're unaware of and that you're weak in. Because you don't know what you don't know. All right? Maybe some of us are weak in the area of mindset, in the area of faith, in the area of time management, in the area of discipline, in the area of leadership. Let's become aware of the things that we need to get better at. Because here's what happens. If you don't know and you don't do, nothing changes. So here are some questions. Here's a question I want you to ask yourself real quick. What areas of your life have you been avoiding or are you unaware of? What areas of your life have you been avoiding or have you been unaware of? It could be your relationship with God. It could be your time management. It could be your physical health, going to the gym, eating the proper foods. It could be your lack of skill development. There's so much. Remember, if you don't know, you can't do. So I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to be honest. Sit down and ask yourself this question. What areas of your life have you been avoiding or unaware of? We need to become aware. August is a big month for every single one of us. We need to make sure that we are aware of things. And you know what? You can even take it as deep as asking somebody around you. Asking somebody around you like, hey, can you give me honest feedback on what you think I need to be better at, on what you think I'm weak at? I know that there's things that I'm weak at. I actually have leaders of mine and mentors of mine and good friends of mine who make me aware of my blind spots. Because remember, you can't fix what you're not aware of. If you're not aware of it, you will continue to do the same things over and over and over and over again. So you can't fix what you are not aware of. You got to be aware. So at the level 1, a lot of people live here, but this is the most dangerous place to be. Think about it. Most people right now, there's a lot of people that don't know a lot. For example, we grew up in society, especially me. If you grew up in humble beginnings, if you grew up in the hood, I grew up, I didn't know anything about finances. I didn't know anything about budgeting. I didn't know anything about credit, anything about the importance of life insurance, the importance of so much things. Taxes, how to do proper taxes. Guess what? Because I didn't know any better, I couldn't do better. So my first couple of years of entrepreneurship, I made a lot of mistakes because of my lack of awareness. I didn't know how important a budget was. I didn't know that. I was just getting it and spending it. I didn't know how important those things were. I didn't know how important it was to build my credit over the years and have good credit. So I messed up my credit at the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey, maxing out credit cards, letting them go into collections. This is just me being honest with you guys, right? These things happened to me because of lack of awareness. I didn't understand the importance of a life insurance policy, something that I could have started years ago to start building up my policy over the years. People think, well, I'll wait till I have kids. No, no, no. You're supposed to have that now. Every single one of us on this call should have a life insurance policy. That's the truth, right? A lot of us don't understand the power of taxes. All right. There's so many things that I didn't know that they didn't make me aware of when I started my entrepreneurship journey. So because I didn't know better, I couldn't do better. So I didn't know, I didn't have the opportunity to change. Because I didn't have the opportunity to change, I suffered the consequences, which was bad credit, lack of budget, knowing policies, no tax benefits, all of these things. Those things happened to me. Now that I know better, I've been able to do better. You see the difference? So what a lot of people don't understand is that what you don't know, you will face the consequences for. As a matter of fact, a lot of the problems that you're going through right now in your life was because of your lack of awareness. Your lack of awareness led to the consequences that you're dealing with today. It's not the devil attacking you. It's not what you think it is. It was your lack of understanding. I understood that. I'm telling you right now, it's not the devil attacking you. It was consequences for your lack of understanding. It cost you to not take the time to learn those things. It cost you the fact that you didn't budget your money correctly. It cost you that you didn't understand certain things that you should have known. It cost you. So guess what? Now you're facing the consequences. I promise you that that's how it is. A lot of us are so quick to blame and point the finger. Blame the finger. Oh, I'm being attacked. I'm being tested. The devil is working overtime on me. Nobody's working overtime on you. It was you. You didn't put the work in. You didn't do what was required. You didn't take the time to learn. You didn't take the time to become aware. Don't blame anybody else. Blame you. You're the one for the blame. When things happen in my life, I look at Nano. Take 100% accountability. Is on you. When I go through my tough times, I blame it on Nano. I don't point the finger at another entity. No. It was me. I didn't take the time to learn, to educate myself, to understand. So because of that, because I was at the first level of learning, which was unconscious incompetence, no change has happened. This is the most dangerous level of all because you operate with blind spots. The most dangerous level of all. So again, I'm going to ask you the question. What areas of your life have you been avoiding or unaware of? I'm telling you right now. This is important. I remember when I started my business, I used to blame everything, blame everybody. Oh, I don't have time to build my business. I don't have time to trade. I don't have time. I have too much going on. BS. You know what the real problem was? The real problem was my lack of time management. It wasn't the fact that I was busy. It wasn't the fact that it was this, it was that. It was my lack of time management. I wasn't managing my time correctly. And here's the thing. Write this down. You don't manage time, you manage activities. You don't manage time, you manage activities. So I had to manage my activities throughout the day. a lot more effectively. I said, you know what? Throughout the day, instead of trying to manage my time, let me manage the activities that I got to put in. Everything started to shift. I said, enough is enough. I got to start making a sacrifice to work on me. So the first level is unconscious incompetence. Let's talk about level 2 now. Level 2 is a very important level, but it's not the best level. Level 2 is conscious incompetence. Conscious incompetence. Now, listen to this one. Here's how this one works. This one says, now you know, but you don't do. Now you know, but you don't do. Remember, unconscious means you don't know. Conscious means you know. So conscious means you know. Incompetence means you don't do. So you know better, but you don't do better. You know you're supposed to be waking up early and you don't wake up early. You know you're supposed to be reading 10 pages a day and you don't read 10 pages a day. You know you're supposed to be in the gym and you don't go to the gym. You know you're supposed to be eating healthy and you don't eat healthy. You know you're supposed to be choosing the water over the soda, but you still choose the soda. You know you're supposed to choose the salad over the burger, but you still choose the burger. You know you're supposed to stay in on the weekend and work on yourself, but you still go out and drink and smoke and chill with your friends. You know you're supposed to be on church on Sundays, but instead you like going to brunch and get lit, right? It's the knowing of what you're supposed to be doing, but you still don't do it. This is important. This is important. You know, but you don't do. This is tough. A lot of people live on this level right here. As a matter of fact, majority of people in the world live at the conscious incompetent level. This one is just as dangerous as level 1. Because you see, at level 1, you don't know, so you can't do nothing, right? So you're just going about life with all the blind spots. At level 2, at least you know, though, but you don't do. This level right here destroys your character. It destroys your confidence. It destroys the person that you want to be. Because you know better and you're not doing better, it hurts even more. This is a painful stage to be. You guys know how that feels. You guys know what I'm saying right now. You know that feeling when you knew you were supposed to be doing something and you didn't do it, that feeling of guilt, of shame. You collect a lot of those feelings. It's a tough weight to carry. It's painful. It's painful. Knowing you gotta be like, it hurts me every time I know, Nano, you gotta be in the gym, bro, but you're not. It hurts me. It hurts me when I look at my book and know that I'm supposed to be reading 10 pages a day and I'm not reading the 10 pages a day. It hurts me when I know that I'm supposed to be saving a certain amount of money every single week, every single month, and I'm not saving it. It bothers me. It breaks me inside. Because the knowing, that's the tough part. It's knowing that now you, for example, for my people who have started to build their relationship with God, right? Once you start to build your relationship with God and you start to read the Bible and you start to, go to church and, you start to anoint yourself and live righteous and obedient, you know what you're supposed to do and not do. And I don't know about you guys, but doesn't it always feel like God is always watching you now that you've started to build that relationship and you're not supposed to be doing specific things? And guess what? We still mess up and we do them. We still take the time to sin. I know that feeling. I know that feeling when you have the two enemies. One enemy on your shoulder and God on the shoulder. And you let the enemy is louder than God is. And you end up falling for the enemy. And then you fall for the enemy because of pleasure, not because of peace. And then you end up looking back and you're like, damn, You knew better. You ever made a decision that you knew you shouldn't have made, and then you make it, and then it ends up costing you? It ends up costing you something, whether a situation ends up turning out the way that that you didn't expect it to turn out, when you knew that you weren't supposed to do that, but instead you chose to do it anyway, and now it's costing you. Now you got to pay a ticket. Now somebody crossed you. Now somebody found out something. Like, now something negative came out of it when you knew you weren't supposed to do it. That happens all the time to us. You know what that's called? That's called conscious incompetence. Very, very dangerous place to be. Very dangerous place to be. Because you know what happens with all of this? It ends up costing us down the road. Think about it. You knowing that you need to be in the gym and you're not going to the gym, what happens? You end up gaining weight. What happens when you gain weight? You start to lose confidence in yourself. You start to lose belief in yourself. Now, your lack of confidence, your lack of belief in yourself is now reflecting in your business. Now, your business isn't getting you the results. Now you're down. Now you're stressed. All these other things, blah, 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 right? And now it starts to what? Snowball into other areas. Now it's snowballing into your finances. Now it's snowballing into your relationship. Now it's snowballing into other areas of your life. What sometimes people think is so small ends up turning out to be super bad in our lives. This is why we can't live here too long, right? You know you're supposed to be reading more, but you're not reading. Your lack of reading gives you lack of understanding. Lack of understanding now doesn't allow you to take the proper actions towards the things that you need to do to change your life. So now you're stuck. What I'm doing on this call is making you guys aware of the mistakes that we all make, including Nano himself. I need this training just as much as you guys, because I've been the person that has been stuck at the conscious incompetent level for not just days, not just weeks, but I've been stuck at this level sometimes for months. 4 months. This place is painful. This place sucks. This place makes you aware of how unproductive you are. Because remember, there's a difference when you don't know. You could be oblivious to it when you don't know any better. You could be oblivious to all of it. But once you know, it changes everything, because now you know better. We all know what we need to be doing right now. You know you need to be stepping out of your comfort zone. But every time you choose to stay in your comfort zone, you're hurting yourself. You know you need to be eating healthier. Every time you choose not to eat healthier, you're hurting yourself. You know you're supposed to be learning skills. Every time you choose not to learn those skills, it's hurting you. Every time you choose, for example, I know people that know better about investing. I've been telling people, and this goes to my people in crypto, for example. There's people that know better. I've been telling people for years, yo, learn how to live off 90% of what you make. Take 10% of what you make, every single check, and invest it in crypto over the years. I've been telling people this. I've been telling people this since 2018, 2019. If people would have listened to me, their situation would be a lot better than it is today. Because I've been telling people for years, yo, take 10% of what you make and throw it in crypto. Throw it in there, throw it into this coin, this coin, this coin. Just take 10% and throw it and forget about it. Just keep investing 10%. Live off of 90% of what you make. Today, Bitcoin has hit over 100,000. Ethereum has hit over 3,000, close to 4,000. Solana has almost hit $300. But I was telling people about these things while they were low. They knew better, but every time they got paid, they did nothing about it. They still got paid. They spend what they got paid and then tried to invest what was left, which was nothing. Nobody listened. Nobody paid attention. Everybody thought I was just talking crazy. And now they're seeing it, and now it's painful because you see it and you're like, I I should have invested more. Instead, I spend it on alcohol, on going out, spend it on my girlfriend, on my boyfriend, on this, on that, on this, on that. And it hurts. I'm telling you, because I've also been there as well. This goes for all areas of our lives. We know better. We know better, but we don't do better. That's the conscious incompetent level. This is a very, very dangerous place to be. You don't want to be here. Okay. Now, here's a question I want you to ask yourself. Yeah, and it's never too late to start. You're right, Keita. It's never too late to start. Here's a question I want you to ask yourself. What skills or habit do I lack that are costing me my growth? What skills or habits? What skills or habits do I have that are costing me my growth? What are those skills and those habits that are costing you your growth? Write those questions down and answer them. Like, I want you guys to answer these questions. What skills or what habits are costing you your growth? It's so important. That's number 2. Number 3, this is the most important level for all of us. This is where I want us to be all of all of August. From August 1st to August 31st, this is the level I want all of us to be in, which is the conscious, competent level. I want all of us to be at this level in August, which is you know better and you're doing better. You know you need to be in the gym and you're in the gym. You know you need to be doing your morning routine and you're doing your morning routine. You know you need to be investing in yourself and you're investing in yourself. You know you need to be eating better and you're eating better. This is where we all want to live all of August. This is where you want to be. You know you're supposed to be doing personal development and you're doing your personal development. All right. Here, this is going to be your best friend right here. This level is your best friend. This is the level that leads to the success that you want to that you want to accomplish in life. The house that you want to buy in the future, the only way you're going to get it is by living at this level. The amount of money you want to make is by living at this level. The rank that you want to hit in your business is by living at this level. The things that you want to do for your kids, the vacations that you want to take, the clothes that you want to wear, the charity that you want to give back to, all of it will happen by living at this level. The relationship that you want to build with God is going to be built at this level. Everything that you want to do in life is built at the 3rd level of learning, which is the conscious competence level, which means you know better, so you do better. That's the key. That is the key. But remember, here, you still have to think about it. But the thing is, you make the right decision every time you think about it. So here, it's not automatic yet. The next level, we'll talk about it being automatically. Here, you still have to think like, yo, you know what? I got to read today. And you read. Yo, you know what? I got to go to the gym today. And you go to the gym. Yo, you know what? I got to study today. And you study. I got a prospect today. I got to build my business today. And you build it. Yo, today I got paid. Yo, I gotta take 10% of what I earn and invest it. Nano told me that. I'm gonna do it. I gotta learn to live off of 90% of what I make instead of 100%. That's what I did. It got to the point, right? Let's say I was making $1,000 a week. In my mind, I was making $900 a week. In my mind, I wasn't making $1,000 a week. I was making $900 a week. I had already trained my mind. All my bills, all my expenses were around me making $900 a week. I forgot about that extra $100 because what I was doing with that $100 is I was taking it and I was investing it, family. I was investing it. I had already programmed my mind, my budget, my finances, everything, that I got paid $900 a week. Why? Because I had to make that sacrifice. Well, Nano, what if I need the whole check? I promise you that there's areas in your monthly finances that if we were to look through it, we could cut a lot of that stuff out. Eating out, subscriptions, so much more. There's so much things that you can cut out of your subscriptions and out of your monthly finances that'll help you save that extra 10%. But you're gonna have to sacrifice the Starbucks coffee. You're gonna have to sacrifice, going out on the weekend. You're gonna have to sacrifice eating out. You know how much money eating at home saved me a month? Close thousands of dollars. I used to spend thousands eating out. Now I save thousands by eating at home. You know how many subscriptions I had that I was paying for that I wasn't even using? Hundreds of dollars in subscriptions that could have been going towards cryptos and investing portfolios. Right now, if you guys were to go through your budget, I guarantee you would find hundreds, if not thousands of dollars that you can save on your income. I guarantee you, if done properly. If done properly. For example, I don't know if you guys know about the store Costco. I recently got a membership there. I used to spend $250 to $300 on groceries every week. So if you do the math, let's say $250 a week on groceries. That's $1,000 a month on groceries, not including plus eating out on top of that as well on the weekends and sometimes during the weekday. So I ended up finding out about this and I'm like, yo, I'm spending way too much money on groceries. I end up getting a Costco card and now I spend $250 every 2 weeks. So now instead of spending $1,000 for the month, now I'm only spending $500 for the month on groceries because I'm buying in bulk. And now I'm only allowing myself one meal of eating out a week as well, which is also helping me save hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month as well. I went from not having money left over to now having more than enough money left over. Now I have money to save. Now I have money to invest. Now I have money for everything else. Why? Because I took the conscious effort of writing down all my finances. I wrote them down and I said, I opened up my finances from I can't remember the month. It must have been at the beginning of the year. I opened it up from, let's say, February 1st to the end of February, and I changed and I looked at every dollar that was spent and I categorized it. Okay, I spent money on this, spend money on this, and I saw where all my money was going. I said, "Oh my God. Look at how much money I'm spending here. Look at how much money I'm spending there. Let me cut costs here. Let me get rid of these subscriptions. Let me save money here. Let me cut costs here." Now I'm going from spending too much and basically living check to check to now saving and investing and having more than enough money for my living expenses. How beautiful is that? All because I became conscious. Some of you guys are on the unconscious, incompetent level with your finances. I'm telling you because I've been there. You don't even track your finances. There's no track. There's none. There's no plan. How many of us are actually planning every time we get paid? Okay, a percentage is going here, a percentage is going there, this. How many of us are actually doing that consistently every single month? I'm telling you, very few. Because if you weren't educated on those things, you don't know any better. You don't know any better. And then you wonder why we struggle financially. You wonder why our credits are low. You wonder why tax seasons and all these things and why we don't have enough money for this and this and this and that is because we're not managing our money properly. And the only reason I can have this conversation with you guys is because it was me. It was me. I messed up. I sat down and realized that I was messing up. So if I've messed up, I know there's a pretty good chance that a couple of us, if not all of us on this call, have also made similar mistakes. And I only want to make you guys aware of it. I only want to make you guys aware so that you guys don't continue to make the same mistakes that I've made. Because there's only two ways to learn in life. You learn from your experiences or you can learn from other people's experiences. I want you guys to learn from my experience. Now I'm conscious about it. Every time I get paid, boom, invest, invest. Here, boom, I'm investing here. I'm putting money there. I'm putting money aside for these insurances, for this, for that, saving here, saving there. But guess what? I'm consciously competent. I know I got to wake up and practice gratitude. Pray to God before I grab my phone. I'm consciously working on that every single morning. I know I got to be reading the Bible. I'm reading the Bible. I know I got to be reading 10 pages. I'm reading 10 pages. I know I got to be writing my goals down, and I write my goals down. I know what I got to do, and I'm doing it. This is where you want to be at all of August. I want you guys to make it a goal that for the month of August, you're going to be at the conscious, competent level where you know better and you're doing better all of August. Can I get a 3 in the chat if I can count on you to do and be at the conscious, competent level? You know you got to be listening to more audios and podcasts and music, and you're listening to more audios and podcasts. This is the area where it changes everything for every single person that's on this call. This is the level that's going to change your life. And if you're struggling in life right now, and if you're going through a lot of problems and challenges in life right now, it's because you're living on level 1 and level 2. That's the truth. When you're living on level 3 of the level of learning, you're good, because guess what? If you're living at level 3, that means you're living a disciplined life because you know what you're supposed to be doing and you're doing it. Your struggles, your problems, your challenges, and everything that you go through comes from your lack of awareness and understanding at level 1 and 2. You want your problems to disappear, live on level 3. You want your challenges to stop, live on level 3. You want to develop skills that make you more money, live on level 3. This is where you want to live. Every day that you wake up and you know what you need to be doing better and you don't do it, it costs you. It's costing you. I promise you it is. It's costing you more than you know. Because knowing better and not doing better is a painful experience to have. It's a heavy weight to carry. A very, very heavy weight to carry. Live on level 3. There you go, Rosie. And then last but not least, level 4. If you live on level 3 enough, because this is the key, you live on level 3 enough, you do it enough, you'll get to level 4, which is the unconscious competent level. All right. The unconscious competence level, which means it becomes second nature. You don't even have to think about it anymore. You don't even have to think. It's like tying your shoes. It's like getting in the car and putting your seatbelt on. You do it so much, you don't even got to think to do it. It just naturally happens. This is where personal development, this is where your morning routine, this is where going to the gym, all of it becomes second nature. For any of my gym people that is on the call, you guys know you go to the gym enough, it gets to the point where you don't even got to think about going to the gym. It's just natural. Believe it or not, some of us are at the unconscious competent level with waking up and grabbing our phones. Because you see, the unconscious competent level, the dangerous part about this level is that this can also be negative for you, depending on what you applied. You see, a lot of us, we don't even think about it, but we wake up and we grab our phones right away without even thinking about it. You've gotten to the unconscious competent level with grabbing your phone when you wake up. But we want to create this on the positive side. I want you guys to get to the point where you don't even got to think about it to do your morning routine. It's a part of you. You don't live without it. It's a part of you. I want you to get to the point where eating healthier it's become second nature. Going to the gym has become second nature. Learning specific skills is second nature. Speaking for me, because I've done these calls for the last 6 years, is second nature to me. I could end this call right now, start a brand new one with zero topic, and I can bring up a topic for another hour and do it off the top with no problem. It becomes second nature to me. I could literally end this call right now and I could go in the chat and be like, all right, guys, give me a word. I'm gonna run a whole training on it. And I could run a whole training right off the top of my head on belief. I could run a whole training on belief if I wanted to right now. Start it all over and give you a 45 minutes to an hour training on the power of belief. No problem. Why? Because it's second nature to me now. I can do it. I will need no notes. I won't need no books, no nothing. I could run the whole training on that. Why? Because it has become who I am. I've done these calls way too many times. I've read way too many books. I've listened to way too many audios. I've gone to way too many events to understand these things. This is where the top 1% live, at the unconscious competent level. Imagine if you were unconsciously competent about the most important areas of your life, which is your personal development, your relationship with God, the skills, social media, gym, and so on and so forth. Imagine if you could get to that level where you don't even got to think about it. You read the books like nothing. If you still gotta think about reading, you're not there. If you still gotta think about going to the gym, you're not there. It has to be natural to you. Waking up and doing my morning routine is literally, I don't even have to think about it. These calls, I don't even got to think about it. They're already programmed in me. I've done them so many times. That's why I could show up every day, regardless of feelings, regardless of what I'm going through, because it is natural. It's second nature to me. Waking up, reading my Bible, writing my goals down, all these things, they're second nature to me. You know why? Because I've done them for so many years. The reps, it's natural to me. It's natural for me to think positive. It's natural for me to think in terms of everything works in my favor. Everything I touch turns to gold. I expect miracles. I get miracles. I live in abundance. Money flows to me. It's natural for me to think that way. Why? Because I've done it so many times. I've repeated it so many times. You understand that? I've done it so many times that because of how good I've been able to be on the unconscious competent level, anything that is not on that level with me, I am aware of it. Anything that's negative, anything, I'm able to shift it around, because guess what? It's not on the level that I want it. You guys want to get to this level, the unconscious competent level, you got to live on level 3 for a good period of time. It may take you 3 months, it may take you 6 months, it may take you a year. But you do it long enough and eventually it'll become second nature to you. Imagine you getting to the point where it's second nature to do the most positive habits. Your most positive habits. Think about that. Think about if you could get to the point where it's second nature to do your most positive habits and you live like that now. Your most positive habits definitely include morning routine. It includes skill development. It includes your relationship with God. It includes, going to the gym, working on your body, right? All these different things, posting on social media, etc. Imagine if you could get to the unconscious competent level in those areas of your life where you've been so disciplined and so consistent over long periods of time that now it's second nature. You know what every single one of you guys can do? You can do that starting now. If you guys were to start now and you were to do it all of August, boom, then all of September, boom, then all of October, boom, then all of November, boom, and then all of December, that's 5 months that you did of living at the conscious, competent level. You know what that's going to do for you guys going into 2026 with newer habits, newer neural programs. You know what that's going to do to the year of 2026 to the people that is on this call? That year, those years of struggle and all the trials and the challenges, they're all going to disappear. I'm telling you, you're going to have the best year ever if you're willing to put in the work from now. 2026 will be your biggest year in your whole entire life, but you got to start now. Because what could happen is there's either one or the other. You can either be conscious competent for the rest of the year, or you could be unconscious competent for the rest of the year. Either or. You could either live at level 2 or you could live at level 3. Level 2 will keep you in the same place over and over and over again, year after year, month after month, no matter how good of a person you are. No matter how much you pray, nothing will change for you. But if you live at the conscious competent level, at level 3, and you live at that level long enough, your life will revolutionize itself and you will transform into a version of yourself that you didn't even know was possible. So those right there are the 4 levels of learning. What level are we going to live in for the rest of August? What level? Type it in the chat box. What level are we going to live on for the for the month of August? What's going to be the level for us? The 3rd level of learning, which is the conscious competent level, which is we know better, so we do better. All 100 of us. It doesn't even matter what happened up until now. We have 5 full months. That's a lot of time. We have 5 full months rest of the year to apply this. Forget about September, forget about October, forget about those months. Our next focus is what we're going to do from August 1st to August 31st. And that's it. Very easy, very simple. And like my brother Clem said in the chat, it starts with your July evaluation, become aware, and then the improvements that you got to make in August with the 3rd question, make that what you're going to do on the conscious competent level. If you know you got to read more, read more. If you know you got to study more, study more. If you know you got to go to the gym more, go to the gym more. Everything you know that you got to do better, do it in 2020. In August. And trust me, everything will change for you. All right, guys. So with that being said, that wraps up my training for today. I hope you guys got a lot of value from today's training. Honestly, I even got value from today's training. It made me aware of everything I have to do myself to get to where I want to go to in August as well. So I'm excited. I got a fire training for us tomorrow as well. I already have tomorrow's training actually planned out. So I'm really looking forward to it. But I pray that you guys really take this very serious. Don't take this for granted, what I just gave you guys. This is a phenomenal training that could really, really shift your life if applied. If is the magic word. You got to apply it. You got to live on the conscious competent level, because I've also given you guys what the consequences look like if you don't choose to live like this. And this goes for everybody on this call, regardless of where you are in life. You could be at a really good level in your life and you're just going to continue to apply, or you could be at a level right now where you're being challenged and everything is going against you. Remember, it's not nobody's fault. It's yours. It's your lack of awareness, your lack of understanding, your lack of living on the level 2 of awareness. Get yourself to level 3 starting today and watch how everything changes. Watch how the challenges disappear. Watch how everything that you ever wanted starts to work in your favor. All right, fam? So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the day. If you guys haven't already, like this video, subscribe to this channel. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, leave a comment below on what your biggest takeaway was. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Long Live Nano. All right, Long Live Nano. This is one of my Instagrams. And then my other Instagram is going to be Mornings with Nano. All right, those are my 2 Instagrams. If you guys want to give me a follow, tag me on anything, it's always appreciated. And let's keep running it up. We have a great couple of months ahead of us. I can't wait for August. I'm going to be extremely tapped in 7 days a week, no weekends for me in August. Every weekend, I'm going to be working on me, fam. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Little quick prayer, and then we'll wrap it up right there. Quick prayer, and where everybody bow your heads. Let's pray. Father God, we want to say thank you so much for waking us up on this beautiful Thursday morning. Today, we are feeling so blessed and so excited for all the blessings that you've put in our lives. Today, we learned some valuable lessons on the levels of learning and what we got to do on a day-to-day basis to continue to build the kingdom and be the example that we want to see in the rest of the world. We want to apologize to you for knowing better and sometimes not doing better. Some of the things that have held us back have not allowed us to live up to the potential that you hold us to, Father. But moving forward, stepping into this month of August, we are all committed to stepping into that version of us that you see us as. We want to live up to the standards that you hold us to, Father. And we're going to take action on the proper things that are going to help us grow ourselves to be the examples that we want to see in the rest of the world. So we ask, Father, that anything that's holding us back, any thoughts, any emotions, any people, any situations, any circumstances, that you wipe them clean from us. And going to this next month of August, we are committed to the vision. We are committed to the mission. We are committed to every single thing that reflects you, Father. We love you so much, and we want to do everything in your praise and in your glory. So let's go out there. Let's have a great, great end of July, and let's start off August with a bang, Father. We love you. We appreciate you. In God's name we pray. Amen, amen, amen. Let's go. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Stay in stay in level 3. Do not fall off of level 3. And if you catch yourself not doing level 3, then always bring yourself back. All right. The rest of the days is on you. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'll see you guys again back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. God bless. Enjoy. Thank you.